everyone, it is Miss Studi here. So today our project is seed paper with native Illinois seeds. So your finished product is going to look a little bit something like this. This is one that I made. You see how it's nice and thin? It's kind of a card. And so you can use this paper for anything. So the thing behind seed paper is that you have seeds, and I picked native Illinois seeds so they're safe to plant anywhere. And these are two plants called milkweed and coneflower. Milkweed really is something that butterflies really are drawn to, and if you walk around, like there's lots of milkweed at Plum Creek, and coneflower is another wildflower that grows in Illinois. So you have seeds with this type. So what you're going to do, you're going to make the seeds be inside of this paper, and then you can write down whatever you want to. You can send it as a postcard, you can write a grocery list on it, and then when you're done with it, you can bury it in the ground, and it doesn't go to waste because the seeds just come back up. So let's go through what we have in the kit and then what you'll need to have at home. So inside your kit, you should have a sponge, you should have a piece of cloth, a bag of different strips of paper. There's also other bits of paper. And along with that, there is a Ziploc bag in here with little flecks of paper. So we're going to keep this out too and have our strips of paper. And then you should have this little envelope. It's from a leftover Chinese New Year program. And this has seeds inside of it, but also it has two little envelopes of seeds on there. And some of them have the name for milkweed and coneflower in Spanish as well. So these are packets of seeds that we're going to be using. So what you want to do is you want to have your flecks over here, and then you want to also lay out your seeds because you want these to be easily accessible. So I'll do that. And also, if you open this, it gives you a little bit of information on the seed, where you can find it, where to grow it, like when it does best in, how many days it takes to plant. That's all exciting information. Okay, so I don't need too many. So you're not going to need all the seeds in this packet. I've given you a little bit more than you need so that you can make this whenever you want to. Alright, so that's seeds. And then the last thing that you should have is this little contraption looking thing. These are two picture frames. One has mesh on it and one is blank. So this is your decal, and this is going to be really important in submerging to pick up to pick up the pulp. Okay, so first step, you want to have everything that you need out. And the things that you're going to need to bring with you, things you're going to need to have at home. You need a blender. This is like a normal blender, 14-speed blender. We use it to cook, so it's fine. I've done the project before, so I think that any blender you have should be fine. And this is just a basin. You want it to be a little bit bigger, like big enough that this can be submerged comfortably with your hands in it. And if you can, I'll kind of tip it over a little bit. You see, like I kind of filled it halfway. So you don't want to fill it super, super full, but like kind of halfway fill the basin. Okay, and then so I gave you this extra piece of cloth. This is going to be what you put your finished pieces of paper on. But this might not be enough. So if you want to bring some extra towels or extra thick absorbent cloth that you have at home, that would be great. Another thing that you're going to need is you're going to need a heavy object. So I use this giant encyclopedia. So anything heavy and like kind of square or rectangle like this is perfect. Okay, so the first step, let's pick our paper, our scrap paper that we're going to be making this other paper from. So the really cool thing about this project is that you can use paper that you've had like lying around, even newspaper for this, and you can make it something kind of beautiful that you can use. Now, I put a lot of different types of paper in here, so pick them based on what shade you want your paper to be. And you don't want to use all of it, you just want to use some of it. I'll show you how much. So I want my paper to be this like pink and yellow color. So I'm going to pick some strips of pink, some strips of yellow, and I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have 7 strips in my hand right now. 8, 10. I think I want some orange in there too. So we'll put some orange, and then I want some of this darker, like, I think it's kind of coral. I want some of that. And now this, and then because this looks like it's going to be kind of darker hued, so I'm going to take a couple strips of white too to lighten it. Alright. So right now I have in my hand 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a lot, so I'm just gonna put one of those down. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have about 14 strips of paper. That's about all I need to make some seed paper. And then this is just extras for if you want to experiment with different colors and make this project again. So I'm going to put these away. Okay, now we're going to take these strips and then we're going to soak them inside of this. You want to really submerge them to get them nice and soft. And this is going to help the blender not have to do so much work when we put them inside. So we're just going to let that soak. You might also want a towel to wipe your hands through this. Okay, so I would say let that soak for like about a minute. So I'm gonna give it a minute and then we'll be back. Alright, so we're back. You may notice that is green paper and not orange paper like originally. I made a mistake, so we're starting over again. Okay, so in order to blend the paper, you're just going to take it and put it in the blender. And you don't want to rinse these out. The soggier the better, because that'll help it blend easy. I'm really excited about how this paper is going to look, because this green color is really beautiful. Alright, and now I have my paper in here. I'm going to pour some water inside. And it's not scientific. And honestly, you can't put too much water because it's all going to go right back in here. And I think that water will help it break down without hurting the blender too much. So now we're just going to blend it, and I would say just whatever's on like liquefy it. That's what I'm going to choose. Alright, so it made some very jumpy sounds, but I promise you it's okay. Alright, so this feels great. I'm going to pour in a little bit more water. And extra towels are always helpful because I'm kind of sloppy with this. Okay. And now I'm just going to do it one more time to make sure that everything is here. That everything is blended. Perfect. Okay, so I'll show you what this looks like. So this is the pulp. And the pulp is what we're going to make the paper from. So this is kind of what it looks like right now. So we're going to just take this and pour it all back in here. Be very careful with it. Alright. Now this is where being an artist comes in. I'm going to just plug the blender. Alright. So, before you start using this, I'm going to take some pieces from these decorative flecks and choose which ones I want to make part of my paper. So I'm going to do just a couple that look good. And then you're going to very lightly put them on so they're still floating on the water because you don't want them to go inside. Let's get it. don't get all of them. You might get them in the next swoop. And now I'm going to put the seeds inside. So you can keep on, you can have a little bowl with seeds, or you can keep on replenishing the seeds that you have to make sure that all of your paper has seeds. So I'm going to sprinkle it again very lightly. And I'm going to show you what this looks like, just so you can see. So see how they're very lightly on there? This is exactly what you want. Okay. I'm going to pause, go back and show you how to make the paper now. Okay. So you want to have, like I have over here, towel, or your piece of paper to absorb. And this is your decal and your mesh. So the mesh is going to go on the bottom and the decal is going to go on the top. And this is what's going to help you frame the paper. And you're going to very gently take it and slide it. And then you want to submerge it. And you don't want to submerge it for too long because you don't want your paper to be too thick. But you just want all of the mesh to be covered. So just make sure that you're catching pulp on all of it. Alright, so you're going to let this dry off. Just let it keep on dripping. And see how it's all coated? You want all of that to be full. And you want to make sure that you can't see any mesh. And then you're going to take it and you're going to turn this around. And this is where the sponge comes in. So you're going to take this and get your absorbent cloth, put it over, and then you're going to dab the back of this with the sponge. So you want to absorb all of the water. So as you can see, this broke, and that's okay. It can actually be repaired. It's not going to be perfect the first time. So I'm going to take this back, I'm going to try again. So let's go back in. That's the best part of this. You can always keep on trying if you don't like what it looked like. And now you can tell that my paper looks a little bit different because all of those flecks that I wanted have gone underneath. But that's okay. We'll keep on working with it. Okay, great. So this is like this. So this is, we've got our paper. So you're going to lift this off. That's the step I missed. You're going to lift this off. And then you're going to take your sponge and you just want to absorb all of the water as much as you can from the bottom, like that. And you can keep on squeezing it back inside. It might take a couple times just to get it right. And then you can turn it over. And then lightly dab the sponge on the back so that it sticks to the paper. So it sticks to the towel. And then I'm going to lift the mesh very gently. And then you want to make sure that it's not taking any paper with it. And there you go. There is your first sheet of paper. Now you might be thinking, this doesn't look a lot like paper. That's right. So you're going to have to double over like this, like that. And then you're going to leave this to dry somewhere. So, like I said, this might not be enough for a lot, so we're going to try some more. a longer run of towel, all right? Okay, so let's try this again. Okay, so remember I'm going to take my flex so you get this fish and some purple. And I'm going to gently put them on top of the surface of the water. And then I'm going to take some seeds and sprinkle them on. And then you're going to get your mesh and your decal, put it on top, and then sink this in, and then pull it up. Oh, this one looks really good. Oh, that one looks nice. I like that one a lot. Okay, so remember you're going to take this off and move this to the side. And you'll get the hang of it as you go. And then you're going to start sponging it off. And you can keep on, remember when you absorb the water, you can squeeze it right back inside. This is a good thing to also do for New Year's intentions. If you like New Year's intentions, you can write them all down on this piece of paper, and then you can get to bury them somewhere near you, and then when you watch the plant grow, you can kind of see your progress too. Okay, so we're going to take this, turn this around like that. I'm going to dab it with the sponge so it sticks to the towel more than it's sticking to the mesh. And you're going to gently lift. If it's not coming off, then you just want to just dab the edges, because that means there's probably more water there. Okay, so now we're going to try. There we go. Perfect. Oh, that's a really nice one. Okay, great. So you see you have this over here, so what you're going to do is you're going to double it over like that, and then you take your heavy object and put it on top. And then how this is going to go, you can make another one, and then take this heavy object away, and then put that one here, double this over, and keep on doing that. Here, you know what, I'll just do it now again. Just to show you. Okay, let's do some more. I'm going to put some more flex on here. And if you see any leftover seeds, like I see some over here, you can just swivel them back into where, so you know that your mesh is going to catch them. Okay. Once you get the hang of it, it's very fun. So you're going to take it like this, sink it in, catch her. You might notice sometimes you don't catch seeds, and if you don't catch seeds, that's actually okay. You can just go in here and like find one and stick it on here. take this off. Take this around. Put it over here. Oh, I forgot to sponge it. Okay. So because I put it down and I forgot to sponge it, it kind of broke apart, but I think it's okay because you can just mend it back together. Okay. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a rip in it, but you can try it and make sure it doesn't get too big. And they're not all gonna, like this one is definitely not gonna turn out perfect. It's gonna have some rips in it. It's going to have some worn edges. And see how I'm like sliding underneath? Okay, there we go. That's as good as we're gonna get it. So see how this one's, it's not perfect, but that's okay. It's gonna turn out into a nice little piece of paper. And okay, so I'm gonna fold that one over like that, and then what you can do once you're done making your stack, you can just take this, your heavy object, and put it on top like this, and just let that sit for a night. And then when that night is over, you can take it, and then they should be pretty dry, but you want them to be completely dry. So then they should be, you can actually pick them up after they dry for a night, and then leave them out to dry somewhere in the sun. And then you're gonna have your beautiful and amazing seed paper, just like this one. All right, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope this is fun and easy to do. I believe in you all. You'll get the hang of it.